Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday and welcome into ZSR2. Today we've got the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Zora weekly race. Tracking alongside me is Ali Oops, and on commentary are Mel and Bear. I'm going to hand it over to the two of them. Enjoy the race, everyone.
Thanks, Golden, and happy time zone, everyone. We are here with a weekly, ironically, playing anti-weekly settings. Uh, Bear, thanks for joining me on comms today. I'm excited to
Course.
get this showcased a little bit.
Glad to be here. I love these settings, and most people think I'm crazy for it, but
I think the only really crazy thing is the skull collecting. We talk about this a lot in the background, kind of the different way you have to think about playing the game and kind of emphasizing some of those things that, unless you're playing a 50 skull seed, that time of day routing, there's a lot of ways to manipulate time of day and, figuring out the effective ways to do that.
yeah, definitely. It can be very hard getting used to because, especially there's two reasons. One is, time of day and normal seeds is generally not a super important thing to worry about. There are a couple checks that need it, but for the most part, you're not like super worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's just oh, I'm sorry, I completely lost where I was going with that. um, yeah, but you need time of day routing in these settings because, like, knowing how to knowing where you can go, when, like, say you're in field, it's night. What do I do to?
Mm-hmm.
You have to properly route checks you can do then in order to get to where you need to go. For other stuff, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
And we invert some things. So we do have an adult start here. One of the things is it is closed door of time. So our runners will have to find not only an ocarina, but they will also have to find Song of Time as well as the buttons to play that song if child is ever available. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things where okay, we're starting at, midnight in this game. We're not starting in that static Temple of Time spawn. Where are we dropping? What can we do?
This is
And
actually
we're
a
going
really
straight
good
to a store.
spawn. This is one of the better spawns you can have for adult because
Mhm.
you want to be like this shop is one of the more important things to go do
Yep.
when you're adult because it has a pretty large chunk of your checks in Sphere
Yep.
Zero.
Absolutely. Fabio choosing to buy that chicken, that is an immediate check that
It is
he
also
can just.
right here. I'm kind of surprised Paula
Yeah.
skipped it.
Oh, Furor's Wind, not something that you use in these settings a whole lot, but there are a few places that it's going to be really helpful. If you need to go do that back skull in shadow, for example, but you don't have lullaby when you first go in there, having that
Yeah.
FW is nice.
Yeah, generally speaking, in Saws, because each dungeon outside of DC only really has 5 checks, it's generally advantageous to wait until you can do all 5 of them to
Yep.
make the trek out there. So
Yep.
for Orswin's definitely not as useful in these settings. But yeah, like you said, there are some uses. Um, Putting something in like GTG, if you have it, even though you normally don't want to go into GTG, just to have a warp over there can be useful too.
Yeah. Yep. Valley has a lot more value in these settings than we're kind of used to because, you've got your extra skulls, you've got your cow, you've got the scrubs in there. Having all of the items to do all of those checks, unlikely, especially since they're spread across ages.
Fortress Foolish. Not super surprising. Fortress is exactly 2 checks.
Yep.
So
Cola did choose to go to Lake right away. This makes sense. It is some hints, but it's also those scrubs here.
oh, there's Mirror
Oh,
Shield. That Kojiro is required.
we need that.
Yeah, Mirror Shield notably locks 0 checks in these settings, but it is required to beat Spirit Trial, so we do need
Yay.
it.
Yeah, the evolution of saws has been interesting. Some of the options that have come up over, the last year or so. Like,
Yeah.
the dungeon rewards shuffle was probably the biggest one because you used to have to fight bosses to get those dungeon rewards.
Yeah, so in the past, there's only one check that requires any dungeon rewards for it, and it's the Ocarina of Time item, not the
Mhm.
song. The song is dead, but the actual item, because it's Ocarina Shuffle, is in fact a check you need to do that you can be required in these settings. So it used to be if you needed to do that check, you would have to go beat your 3 stone dungeons. And that was it. Like you just beat the bosses. You didn't have to do anything else in the dungeons because it's no boss keys and no keys.
Yep.
Um, but now they're just kind of out there in the middle of the world. You'll find the medallions are useless. Some of them make you lose time because you get extra checks.
Yeah,
And
that
then
forest med. You don't
yeah,
want to be picking that up. We do already automatically lose something because when you walk into Temple of Time for the first time, you get that free reward.
yeah, because it's closed door of time. The way they have it changed is that the light med is in behind Song of Time, so
Yep.
behind opening the Song of Time door in Temple of Time. So if you ever, well, we might not go child, but if they do go child, they'll just get a free random check that's dead when they go child the first time.
Yep. Similarly, it is full token sanity. So overworld dungeon skulls are all going to be items, as we see here. None of the skull checks are on. So we will call the skull tokens that they pick up shame tokens from here on out.
Yeah, and both runners going to adult CAC in the day pretty early is very standard. These shops are about half of the checks they have available as adult. Um,
So
Looks like
Cola,
Fabio needs to get a little bit more money
yeah, Cola
before he can
not
buy
buying
that wallet.
Kojiro, saving him a lot of grinding there.
Saria's song? Saria's song not well, it actually so Saria's song with adult start can be surprisingly interesting.
Hmm.
Um, because basically forest access, which normally is a bit of a given, is anything but in these settings because you need 5 things in order to get, or 6 if it's minuet,
Hmm.
in order to logically be able to get past Mido. Um, which means that keeping track of if Saria's is in logic, and if you have the notes to be able to play it, can be very important because you don't really want to head out to Forest Temple if it's never going to be in logic.
Yep. Yep. That beatable only really coming into play there.
But Saria's itself only really locks one check that's in child, so the song itself is not super important,
Yep.
but keeping
So
track of it can be.
I believe Nocturne is on our field cow. And then just a piece of heart on the
Yeah.
skull there.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Because it's a currently adult start, that is going to be hammer locked and still behind a fire source and magic. Um,
Which I
I
mean,
would
you would need to
say,
enter Shadow anyway.
yeah. I would say Shadow is probably the dungeon that you want to avoid most because you have to go through a good quarter of it to get to the first skull.
Yeah, no, Shadow's kind of. It's probably the worst dungeon in these settings. Just because, yeah, you have to go through so much of the dungeon to get to a skull. Though it is shortcuts on, so it doesn't take that long.
Hmm.
But it's still somewhat annoying. Though you do get the really cool strat of you can get the skull by the boat and then jump into the void and get back up at the top of the climb. One of
Oh,
my favorite strats to do in Saws.
it's Serenade, apparently. Which makes sense. Damp
Oh,
Ditch,
Serenade.
the Drained Lake. Sounds good. Thanks, panel.
Okay. I didn't actually see what the hint said. I was just, but yeah, Serenade, not logically important. They probably will just never get it,
Yep.
to be completely honest.
Cheap money.
So yeah, we haven't seen an ocarina or any notes, which makes me believe that we're probably going to be finding a hookshot relatively soon. So in
Yes.
adult starts, there's basically two things that you're probably going to find very early. One of them is a hookshot because it locks the vast majority of checks as adults. And the other is Song of Time and all the stuff needed to play Song of Time to go child, because about half of the checks are child.
Cola got some really cheap money, is buying a shield that is in a vanilla spot. The Kokiri shield also, or Deku shield, sorry, also in a vanilla spot. So it's kind of nice to know where that static shield location is.
Yeah. So one thing I will say, because scrubs are on, and we don't start with any nuts, having a Hylian shield is not, even if Cola does, like Cola will probably find the mirror shield pretty quickly. Like still having a Hylian shield can be pretty useful, just to help kill the scrubs a little faster.
Yep. Cola probably heading to Ganon's here. Our bridge is completely open, so what you are playing for are the items to beat trials.
Fabio doing the one Sphere Zero check that's available in DC. Oh wait, is turning around, thinks there's no checks available in DC. There is one.
Aren't there two?
No, you need bombs or a hookshot for any of the other ones.
Okay.
Or a strength. Because all the scrubs are behind the mud wall.
Oh, that's right. Duh.
Like the skull in the back is behind a mud wall. The scrub is in the side is behind a mud wall. So
I forgot about the mud wall.
Yeah, so there's actually 5 checks over here. This OGC skull, I believe, is in logic with absolutely nothing. So
yes,
there's a big Poe bottle.
Okay.
Bottle, not super useful as adult. You do need one to beat Water Trial. Blue fire arrows are not on because S8 has blue fire arrows on.
we
get
ruined
normal ice arrows, which means you do need a bottle to be able to break the red ice wall in Water Trial.
The saw is a tool that you
use it to cut trees.
Things.
I believe it's known as a tree killer in the cryptic hints.
Yep.
Ooh, Bonchu bag. That's pretty good.
Nice. That is a good find. Shoes are in logic in these settings. One of our rupees. Very nice. Oh,
yeah,
and
it gives you access to that might be useful.
Might be really nice if we go child.
But bomb shoes give you access to DC. DC has 9 checks in it. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And Cola's gonna be grabbing some blue fire here. Let's see, probably just saving it for, a trip into Domain. But
yeah.
Could also just very well want to, blow up a mud wall with it.
Though with the choose in a shield, you're probably not going to see it there. But
probably not. But we can hope. Okay, so just a heart container, I think, on prescription. Royal Recipe refers to one of the adult trade sequence checks.
Yeah, that's... So yeah, I don't think we've talked about it. There is Trade Shuffle on in these settings. The way it works here is the normal end... So in normal settings, at least for adult, the start and end are checks. And... for child, I think it's just the end, or it's just Skull Mask.
Right,
sure.
Like weirdly in the middle.
Yeah. So in these settings, those 3 checks are not on, but every other trade item you get is a check. So the prescription hint, Valley Spiders.
Steel Safeguard, I think,
I
is
want to say is a
Hylian
Hylian shield. Yeah.
Yep. So we don't need to worry about those. All right. Cola buying the chicken.
Buying a Deku shield. Interesting choice. We still don't know if Child is possible, or even like we have not seen anything, any ocarina or notes so far as I've seen.
Stun stick is Rang. So that's a Ranglock's Rang.
Oh, yeah, because that's the first, that's the
first one, yeah.
The first Valley Skull by the bridge. The wooden plank bridge.
Actually really nice because there are more, like... Oh. Cola crashing. Perhaps. You hate to see it. I don't know. Cola would have just saved at least. Yes, there's a lot. Oh, Cacta Tower.
Yeah, Cola shouldn't have lost too much from that, but still sucks.
Yeah, still sucks.
Oh, we're seeing the back of Lake hints. That's an interesting play by Fabio.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like hints that much in Saws. Like, there are some that are useful, but a lot aren't.
Ooh, worst.
Got the Crater, Scrub, and Skull is... 3-day wait is the claim check, which is useless. Yeah. And then I think Blast Balls is just a bomb refill.
I think so.
It might be a bomb bag, but I think it's a bomb refill.
The first check on the hint is actually the beam patch. Oh, wow, this is out of control. What?
Why is the first one the beam patch?
Why? That doesn't... That's like against how most of the other ones are ordered, because you're not collecting the bean patch first.
Cola getting his mirror shield here again. I think
so
this is where he was when he crashed thereabouts. I know one that is bad is the cow grotto hint. It says a cow and a spider in the hint text, and I know it's a spider than the cow in the item text.
Yeah.
That one I know is backwards.
Cola murdering children for lunch money. This is probably one of the more annoying things in SAW settings, is trying to make sure that your wallet is full or, near full.
Yeah. Yeah, having to farm rupees, especially as adult, there's basically one good place, and you just saw Cola do it twice.
Yep. So we'll see what Goron Shop has for us.
So we do need to hit Link the Goron with this bomb chew in order to access the Goron Shop as adult. So we're going to get one of the more common dead checks we have to do.
Yep. Expensive merchants also on, so Cola gonna get a hint and check what Medigoron has to sell here. Fabio going after more hints. Yep. Okay. So Zelda, we don't have to go do guards.
That's nice. Proof of Destruction is a skull token. Those. Immense Cavern, DC is Way of the Hero.
Shocking.
Yeah, crazy that like the best place in one of the best places in Saws is Way of the Hero.
Ooh,
I thought Deity's Snack, so I assume that means the Zora Sapphire.
Mm-hmm. I think so. River, I mean, it's Path. It's written as Path.
Fish Bottle. Fish Bottle could be. That's probably it. Either way, we're probably not getting it. Alright.
Oh,
Fabio is gonna get his bomb chews. Oh, there's an ocarina.
okay,
There's a frog
okay.
here too.
Frog is another check.
Yeah,
We're
in
hiking,
the
folks.
lake.
And sadly, again, Ice Arrow's dead to us.
Yeah. Well, this puts more weight into being able to go child. Having an ocarina is a big step towards doing that. But we still need 3 notes in Song of Time, so still got a long ways to go. Interesting. I guess was Cola was going for the skull and DMT, I guess. It's a bit of a out of your way to get one out of Logic Skull, but
Maybe
I guess there's a hint too. Maybe he wants the hint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, OT is that's spooky. No, that's not spooky. Fleshless. I'm not sure which. It's one of the child masks that's useless.
I think it's Skull Mask.
Okay, that makes sense. I know it's a useless child mask because there's only one useful child mask, which is Mask of Truth, which is Factual Facade. So that's the one I look for.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of like the alliteration, but it also makes it a little harder to tell them apart. Like, oh, fleshless, factual, fearful.
That's some nuts. I guess Cole is going to do this goal, or no,
Changing
just going
his
into
mind.
DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do, so shortcuts are on in these settings, so you can actually go to the back. I assume Cola's going to go to the back early and grab some extra explosives.
Yep.
Before doing the rest of DC.
Yeah. Did save there, maybe hoping for a drop.
Oop, no drop.
Oh. But yeah, the same place that drops bombs normally when you're in here drops chews.
Yeah, because it's bomb chews in Logic, it'll drop chews since we have a chew bag. Which is very useful.
Oh.
Didn't go far enough. I think the pot didn't respawn.
Yeah.
Oh, close. Oh, it's gonna go again. Yeah. Wasted too much time, so... There we go. Looks like... I'm guessing Fabio is heading straight for DC as well.
Yeah. I think that makes more sense for Fabio, having already done, you know, the Kojiro loop, knowing what's there.
Yeah.
There's a few other checks.
We'll probably go up to Goron City after DC, I would guess.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we'll see what we end up with here.
That was a C button, wasn't it?
Yeah, left.
Left. So
oh, okay.
There's a strength.
We need all 3 of those today.
Yeah. The first one, probably the most useful out of all of them. The other 2 don't lock a whole lot. Well, Strength 3 locks nothing, and Strength 2 is mostly just the Colossus scrubs. There's scenarios where it can be more than that, but they're unlikely.
Yeah, dungeon shortcuts being on kind of changes a few things, so, you know, what you typically think of being as important for Spirit, less important.
Yeah, you can do most of Spirit with just a hook shot in these settings. So we got a left C here. Left C is important for a lot of songs, but it is not important for Song of Time, which is probably the most important song in these settings.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too. The notes that you get to play Song of Time also give you the 2 soil patch skulls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your Bolero and your Requiem can be played with those same 3 notes.
That's a nice chew drop from that baby Todongo. I cannot see what this is. It looks like a strength. Looks like
It is.
looks like we're pushing. Well, actually, Fabio will probably check this to see if it's a hook shot, and if it isn't, we'll push the Armos.
Yep.
It is a broken Goron sword.
That is a check.
Yeah, it's a check from Big Goron.
Yeah, I imagine both runners end up pushing the Armos for that skull.
Yeah, it's
Cola especially.
Yeah, it is much faster to just push the Armos now than have to come back to DC with a hook shot to get it.
Yep.
You know, well, so like you're gonna need it because it's hard required for the seed. So there's no point in just not getting it now.
Yeah, it is
at
free
the same
Scarecrow.
time too.
Yeah, I know. Holding hands, pushing the Armos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Armos apparently is close to a derogatory term.
Yeah, it is. It does get flagged by Twitch sometimes.
All right. So a C left, a strength, obviously, by default. The C button may be relevant, but certainly.
Yeah. So the strength is definitely. I believe we got a path to tower for DC.
Yep.
So the strength, 100% fills that.
Heaps.
Heaps. All of the hints are going to be path to tower, and basically because you need light arrows, magic, and a bow to beat every trial. There are no Evil's Bane paths.
We've already said hello to you today, Chuckles.
Sorry, ugh, it's Chuckles. I'm so sad Chuckles is here. Does that help, Chuckles? No, we love you, Chuckles.
We love Chuckles. We love heaps.
We love chat.
We love saws.
And saw. I do love saws. Alright, let's see. Did Cola check the back skull here? I missed it if you did. That one is not useful. Although I probably would have gotten that piece of heart, to be honest.
This early on, it's kind of nice to just build that buffer a little bit. We did see a Goron tunic hanging out.
Who got owned by that Keister. Yeah, interestingly enough, Goron Tunic... What is that? I could not see that. Goron Tunic is actually required, logically, to beat Fire Trial.
Mm-hmm.
So they will always need one. It is possible for Goron Tunic to be in a child-only shop, the one you can buy, so the one you find is actually path to tower because of that.
Yep.
Alright, we're getting to the last two checks here in DC, these two scrubs.
Yeah, Cola out of Deku Nuts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another strength.
Okay.
That's all three strengths already.
Yep.
Alright, I'm starting to get a bit worried this might be adult only. And a hook
there's
shot.
our hook shot, yep.
Alright, so was DC path? Yes.
Yes. We do require long shot, we require all three strengths. Hammer. Bow lights magic, as you mentioned. Yeah, I would agree. I was gonna say the same thing about the Goron tunic being accessible in a shop already, and it being one of the like static ones. I'm like, this is feeling more and more like we are not seeing Child.
We have an ocarina and one button so far, so it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. But the fact that that's all we've seen, and we've done a pretty large chunk of the early checks so far, would lead me to believe we're not going to be going Child. But
Yeah.
you never know until you until you're done.
Yeah. We are going back for this skull. Something you don't usually see because, I mean, typically dungeon skulls aren't on, but
yeah, it must have been important then.
Shot.
I didn't see what it was. Maybe it was the long shot.
Maybe.
But again, it's one of those things where it's probably better to just waste the time now and go get it than it is to actually come back up here.
Yeah, especially like playing warp songs, even just getting warp songs is hard enough, but actually being able to play the warp songs, it's better to just be able to clear things as you go through.
Yeah. It looked like bow. Okay, it could have been a bow.
Yeah,
it was in fact a bow. Okay.
Nice spot. Cola should be going down the mountain getting his strength 3. It is in the wall.
Yeah. I assume if he has... I don't know what his time of day is. If he has good time of day, he'll probably get the cack skull as well.
Yep. And I would go up river. I mean...
Yeah, it depends. Again, it depends on how much time of day you have left. But we'll see. You at least want to get the field skull.
Oh no. Well, getting a little screwed. Not good for that time of day.
Yeah. And then Cola now on strength 3.
Ooh. Just gonna...
it looks like it's day, but I can't tell.
It is
That
day.
does look day, yeah. Alright, so that means Cole not getting this skull for now.
That's really unfortunate. That skull having something is not really a meme in Saws, but it does often have an item that you need.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that can be really awkward to go get because most of the time that you're in CAC, you want it to be day. So, like, going through CAC while it's night is not something that's happened. It's something that you can easily delay a lot by accident.
Yeah, I wonder, in Cola's case here, I almost wonder if hiking over to Valley for those 2 skulls is worth getting the time of day and then kind of save quitting, going through Lost Woods to Goron City, back down.
Yeah, I could see it. Like, you go over there to get good time of day, and you can like save scum time of day. Basically, save when it turns night.
Yeah.
Check the 2 skulls. Probably check the frog check in lake that you can do. Oh no, it looks like he's just gonna go set it to night immediately. So one nice trick you have as adult is entering OGC makes it night.
Yep. And that does happen consistently. It's not just a one and done like some other things.
It is every time you enter OGC, it becomes night.
Yep. And that's kind of one of the things that, for me, for example, I try to keep in mind, don't leave Spirit Temple, because the song is going to be nothing, and that's a really nice way to manipulate it back to daytime, if you don't have Sun Song.
Yeah. I wonder if Cola is going to go up to Forest Temple here. So I was saying earlier, Forest Temple is out of logic right now, but we do have one of the notes in Ocarina and Saria's song for it. So it's possible it will be required. Or it will be open and you'll be able to go there eventually. It's 5 very quick checks in these settings.
Yep.
So I could definitely see Coolidge going there.
Yeah, plus you've got
Interesting,
the
not checking that
scrub.
hint. Is gonna Mino skip.
Peek this skull here. Yeah, I think with just the time of day alone, this makes a lot of sense for Cola to be doing.
They're very fast checks. You've actually got a pretty good chance at this point of having these checks eventually be in logic. Like I said, you have 3 of the 5 items needed to place Arya's song, so that's pretty good.
Fabio murdering some children for money, just like Cola did earlier. Only one shop left accessible. We don't have actual access to it yet.
Yeah, so obviously we can't do the child shop. Zora domain shop is not logical and also not even possible to go out of logic yet for.
Yep. I'm fairly certain ZSR does not.
I think that was Ice is Baron.
I think so.
That looked like the Deku.
Yeah. Someone said that was dead
dead
already, so.
Okay. Yeah, I
Must be
haven't
a
been
copy.
super paying attention to all the hints. But... Sun Song.
Suns.
We
Can't
we
play
can't
that.
play it, but we have it.
Alright. What junk item are we getting here?
Skull Token.
Shame.
And
Okay.
DC Path to Tower. Yeah,
Wow.
it sure is.
Wow. I mean, even if it's not hinted, that's usually the case.
Yeah, there are a couple areas like that where it's very likely, like, it's something you're probably going to do, and it'll probably eat up a couple of your hints.
Yeah, it's like DC and Market are basically, you know, the whole CAC is Way of the Hero meme from back in the day when Way of the Hero was what was hinted. Market, if child is accessible, almost guaranteed.
Pretty much guaranteed if child is accessible. It is 32 checks, I believe, in Market. It's a lot.
The muscle memory of watching people push this the wrong way.
Yeah.
Alright, $5, $5. Fun fact, that skull is one of the main reasons that shortcuts are on in Saws.
Yep. It's true. The scale.
That's really nice to get into River with that time of day.
Yeah, especially because now Kola is at dusk. It's 6 p.m., I believe, is the start of night. So it's the very start of night, so should be able to easily get both skulls if he goes through the Lost Woods shortcut.
Yep. Fabio doing some... I don't believe we've seen these scrubs in Goron City yet. They are in Logic. We have a hookshot and a tunic available.
Yeah.
But they are nothing. I don't have to imagine it, Golden, because we lived it.
Oh, I guess... So Kola is doing this recoil strat. Basically, one of the skulls you will either need to go through this door or have long shot. So I guess Kola is just playing it safe. If it is something, you can definitely get it if you just go this way into the courtyard. They're not technically required because we do have a bow.
Yeah, having the bow is huge early on. It saves you a lot of time and you're able to peek a lot of skulls so you can kind of prioritize, all right, when do I need to go back to something?
Yeah, bow and choose and as child slingshot are actually very useful items to just help peek, even if you can't get them. A bow and a slingshot, letting you peek skulls so you know you don't have to go back to a certain area can be very helpful. Or no, you do.
One of the things I really like about having this scale too, to get river done early, it will tell us pretty immediately whether or not we're going child. Because if there's nothing on those 2 skulls, well, we do have scrubs available. They are storms locked. We don't have those. We don't have storms yet.
All right, so there was nothing. So there was a scale in Sunsong, which tells us absolutely nothing about whether or not Forest is going to be in play or not.
Yep. Scale does nothing in these settings. Except give you movement.
It can be relevant as child. It is not relevant as adult.
Yeah, it kind of has those same access things in child.
Yeah, as you would in normal settings.
Yeah, but Lab Dive isn't a check. Tech Grotto isn't a check.
Yeah.
All right, where does Fabio go next?
Yeah, I'm curious to see where both... Well, actually, no. Cole is probably going to at least do River. And then from there, I would probably guess maybe to Valley.
Yeah?
We're kind of running... So one of the things you see with adult starts is you tend to run low on checks. And you just kind of have, like, a couple of checks scattered across the world that you need to go do.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a bunch of stuff in Fire that is in Logic, actually. Neither of them has gone to Fire. Maybe Colin might be doing that now. So notably, with it actually has nothing to do with shortcuts. But notably in Saw's Fire Temple, Hammer only locks a check in Fire Temple. Most of the checks are locked behind a hookshot.
Yep. It is Keezy. So as soon as you have, like, access to a dungeon, you don't have to think about it, really.
So if Cola does go Fire, would probably want a Tunic, considering how few hearts he has. Though I guess he should be able to get a Fairy.
Yes, he has 2 bottles. He has Blue Fire in one of them, but depending
Did he empty the other bottle?
He did, yep.
Okay.
When do the runners route in Hylian and Loach here? Adult fishing is available.
Oh, right, because they didn't have. It's not available as adult. Yeah, I don't know. I would. So basically, depending on time of day, like if you're going to Valley and it's daytime, instead of waiting in Valley, you should just go do Loach.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I know both of these runners aren't a big fan of doing Loach, though.
Yes.
I don't know. A lot of people have issues with Loach. I don't find it that difficult, but I think I'm in the minority of people who don't find it that difficult.
I think it's just a little bit of the combination. It is really unfortunate to have something so similar to what you would normally do, but totally different. You're looking for a different fish, which is in a slightly different place. It spooks really easily, and then it goes to the center of the pond.
Yeah, in this case, it is very out of the way too, because we've done the lake scrubs already.
Yeah, and it still has that same component. Like, when are you going to lake if you don't have Serenade? All right, we are gonna get to see these skulls here from Fabio.
Colin not going that way. Was the Goron tunic in this shop? Another bottle. It was? Yes. Okay, so that is in fact what Colin was doing, buying a Goron tunic to go to Fire.
I think we've had like 3 vanilla right side shops.
Yeah. I think it's even in the vanilla location it is in the right side.
Yeah. Because both of our shields were where you would usually expect them to be, and now our Goron tunic.
So we get a dead check here, the Bolero check.
Ooh, okay, hammer.
Ooh, hammer.
That's some checks.
Hammer is, well, it's technically 6 checks, but 2 of them you can get very easily without the hammer. The 2 skulls in DMT are very easy to get out of logic. But there are the scrubs in DMC, and the 1 check in Fire Temple
And
that
the
Kola is
skull
walking
here.
past right now.
Yep.
Let's see if Kola does this this setup to skip Song of Time.
House cow is dead.
Yeah, it is going to do a setup. So there's a setup coming out of the door to get this. Interesting. If we see like Song of Time on this or something, then that'll tell us a lot. Because this is Song of Time locks logically.
Our runners might hold hands in fire here. Nice.
Yeah. What is nice about Kola's route is he has not spent any time of day, so can still easily go to Zora's River after this.
Yep. Yeah, that scale definitely gives him some more options when it comes to conserving that nighttime and making sure that he can get those skulls.
Yeah. Alright. Interesting. I wonder what strat Kola is going to use for this. Not this room, but the next room with just choose and strength. Not typically what you would see here.
Okay. Fire arrows,
oh, there's
and our
light
light
arrows.
Okay.
Where's this?
These are the crater scrubs. And
magic.
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 Hammer definitely path, not just because you require it for 2 trials, but...
Alright, we are actually starting to get very close to go mode here.
Yeah, we're just missing...
I want to say just
shot?
long shot.
Yeah. Forest trial requires a fire source of some kind.
And now that we have the fire arrows, that's fulfilled.
We have that. We have our bow magic lights. We have a bottle with which to do our water trial. So yeah, it's just gonna be that long shot.
Just long shot for fire trial.
Or fire trial. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, even among adult-only seeds, this seems very quick.
This is pretty fast. So, obviously we don't know where the other hookshot is, but I'm probably not very far. Oh, okay.
Mercury Emerald.
We don't need that, but they're
it
cute.
Looked cool. There is still the possibility that this long shot is just somewhere in Child, and we still have quite a ways away ahead of us. There are still a decent number of checks left, but I think it's pretty likely long shot is going to be adult, and we're not going to be able to go Child.
It's, just on Loach.
Yeah, if it is on Loach, that's probably a last location for both of these runners at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the difficult things, is how much do I have available? So we'll see. I would expect Kola to just kind of, get out of here and go do river, hike back to Crater with that hammer.
Yeah, it's not that long, because you can just take the shortcuts.
Yep.
Eye drops. We
Okay,
didn't turn that in.
Check. Yep.
I don't. We haven't turned in Broken Sword yet, right?
Not Broken Sword. We now have eye drops. Neither of them has done. The eyeball frog might save them if that Loach is the hookshot.
There's an A button. Uh-oh.
Spicy? Is that a bottle? No. Eye drops are not considered a bottle.
So, A button puts us closer to Song of Time. which puts us closer to being able to go child to look for this long shot.
Yeah. However, we still don't have Song of Time to begin with.
It's scary. A button was probably not a button you wanted to see, though. Up there
No.
in Fire Temple.
I think my favorite button to find is definitely C up, partially because it's just the cup button, which is a fun little joke. But also because I think that's probably the one I realize least exists in songs.
Yeah. I think in terms of, like, required for songs, I think it's, like, A button is actually the least. Or something. I forget. I've looked it up before.
Isn't A in, like, all of the warps except Prelude?
Oh, it is in a lot of warps, yeah. There's... Or maybe it's down that's the least useful in terms of number of songs. I know right is the most useful. Right is in every song except one.
Yeah. And that one
Yeah, I think it's...
use
I think it
A
might be
and
down.
up.
That's only in like 5 songs.
That would make sense.
Which is funny because down is like super important in these settings because it's specifically in Song of Time. Alright, I'm guessing this is going to River for Cola.
Yep.
Be curious to see what Fabio decides to do after this. Will he make the out of logic play for Forest Temple? Will he go for some of the in logic stuff in Valley and Lake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't gotten a really good sense from either runner how much they really care about that logic. It being beatable only or required only, you know, you should stay more in logic. But some of those in logic checks just really suck to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a fine line where it's like sometimes like especially if you're like really close to something being in logic where you're just like these checks are really fast. It probably doesn't hurt to just do them.
Right. Like
Well,
Cola going into Forest. That was,
yeah.
like
Exactly.
8 checks
Yeah, it's
between the scrubs and the skulls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. And it's a lot and they're really quick. So it's like you don't really lose that much time if you go there and do the checks. But then there's like, but what if they're never in logic? Then you're like, well, I guess I wasted that time. Another one, they can't do it right now because they don't have hovers, but like going into domain and ice, like those are some pretty quick checks generally. But they are out of logic, so.
Yep. Alright, it looks like Cola might try racing to CAC here, probably doesn't have the time to go get that skull.
Yeah, is immediately
Yep.
canceling that plan. It's like I don't have anywhere close to enough time to get to CAC right now.
Yep.
Looks like this is gonna go to Valley.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate for Cola.
Really should be going to Lake here because you're gonna be sitting in Valley if you go right now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's where remembering, like, oh, the eyeball frog, I can turn that in, makes Loach a little less terrible.
Yeah, there's also a keynote to know about time of day in this game. Daytime is twice as long as nighttime, which means that while it might seem like hiking out to Valley will give you most of the way to like it being night again, you actually are still going to have to sit here for about 3 minutes because it only gets about half of the way there.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned for when Cola takes that hammer into Crater now. That's gonna work out really well for Fabio, obviously, having
Yeah.
already picked up those items, but going there before going into fire. Um, Much more compelling than now going back.
Yeah, but in the end, it's really gonna matter where the long shot ends up being. Like, if long shot is child, then Cola delaying going to um get those items isn't really gonna be a big deal. But if
Yeah.
long shot is just here, then it might be a little bit of time before Cola goes back. Though I don't think there's that many checks left. It really depends on what is here.
Mm-hmm.
I
Did
think there's got to be
Cola?
something on these 4 checks. The 2 valley goals and the 2 checks we have in Lake Eyeball
Yeah.
Frog and Loach.
Yeah. Where Cola is standing has me a little concerned that he might not have the Fortress Foolish
Oh,
hint.
he might not have seen it. Yeah.
Um,
Luckily, it's only 1 check right now, but
yeah.
it'll waste a little bit of time going to do this 1 check. But yeah, like I said, I if Cola had gone to Lake, would have had much better time of day to be able to do these checks up here.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. Sometimes you just don't think about where you're routing.
Yeah.
It looks like Fabio is going to be in a similar position, though I think Fabio's time of day is actually a little later than what Cola's was. So
Yeah, I would agree. Because Fabio went down the mountain, but that was during nighttime, so. But it's going to be saving time.
oh, Fabio is going to get this. What was it? It was Serenade.
Serenade.
Well, I actually don't know which one was hinted. Oh, is it going for the hint? Not going to get Serenade. Hack Path the Tower.
Wow.
A pretty common hint. I don't know if it was the skull or the cow that had Serenade. It was the skull.
Okay. Can't play that yet either.
Yeah, we'll probably never be able to play that, but we'll see. Cola getting the check didn't have the Gerudo Fortress Foolish. We knew that wasn't anything though. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go check
it's
these skulls in Valley.
the Gerudo card is required for the skull that's back on the HBA target. It's also required for kind of that haunted wasteland area. So, the Chew carpet salesperson, the skull in haunted wasteland.
Yeah, and that skull and fortress is the only thing that's actually hard locked by having the card.
Yeah.
You can't go. Mask of Truth, probably not
Oh.
useful. Maybe.
Probably not useful, but we'll see.
Because you can go also waiting for time of day.
Yep.
So Fabio not going to go into fortress.
But this will work out nicely for Cola as far as turning in the eyeball frog and doing Loach here, so.
Yeah. We'll see.
Still...
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else they can do, so one of these 2 checks needs to be something, I think. Well, actually, have we seen the turn-ins for Broken Sword and Eye Drops? I don't know that. We have?
They were dead. Okay, I'm trying to think what would even be like.
Opponent song.
There it is.
That's not the song you wanted to see.
Yeah, we only have one of the notes for that, but...
Yeah. Opponent locks a bunch of cows that are kind of scattered all over the place. Alright, let's see what this Loach is.
That's what's on that cack skull, isn't it? one of our buttons.
We have A and left right now. Is there a note that can get us play a song from that? I don't think so.
No.
Or not a relevant one, at least.
Yeah. All right, Cola, going and getting the lure. This is what I like to do because I'm bad at
This
fishing.
is not what I do, but it is a strat. You scare the loach and then get the sinking lure.
Yep. And then all of the other fish grab the lure. Oh, loach. Come on, loach.
Loach, come on, loach.
Oh,
You
it's
can do
so
it, loach.
cute.
Loach doesn't care. The other fish cares, though.
Hylian loach don't care. Yeah.
I can see why people don't like this strat. This strat kind of sucks. I don't think that loach is grabbing it, Cola.
No. So this lure actually exists in, I think, 3 different places.
I want to say it's... So basically in vanilla, I want to say it's 4, but it might be 3. There's basically 3 or 4 spots that it can randomly appear in vanilla. And in the randomizer, it's just always in all of those spots.
Yep. Same thing, like, the loach itself typically would not always be there, but when it's shuffled like this, it is. That's fair,
I think we caught the loach.
Think we got the loach.
I don't think loach is that hard.
Fabio doing closer to what Bear does.
Yeah, Fabio's going from the other side from what I normally do, but this is basically the same strat I use, where you just kind of throw it near where the loach spawns and then reel it in.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, Cola should be pushed back to Crater here regardless of what's here.
Interesting. Alright, we're definitely missing a check-in logic.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be that skull in CAC.
Oh, right. They still haven't done the CAC skull.
They haven't done, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Like we were talking about it earlier. It is pretty easy to kind of forget that CAC skull... Or not forget, but just never have good time of day for it.
Yeah. Which Cola should be okay. We'll probably be doing that Crater finish off fire loop because he doesn't have much left.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what it could be other than long shot on that because a single button isn't going to do us anything.
Let's see.
Oh my god, they were real mates.
Yeah, what else? It could be card.
Yeah, we could find card.
Card unlocks a lot of checks, actually.
Well, card only unlocks the one skull because we still don't have a way to cross the pit. Logically.
Oh, do we not? I thought we did. No.
We don't have hovers, we don't have long shots, so yeah.
Well, it unlocks that, and then that's hovers. It could do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could be a tray. There could be the
tray
odd mushroom is
odd
2
mushroom
checks.
would be good.
Odd mushroom would be nice because you're already there in CAC.
Yep. Fabio.
It's like Fabio's going for some hints.
Yep. I think it's more killing time of day to get to CAC for that skull. They'll probably be... And if that is long shot, they'll probably be picking it up at a very similar time.
Yeah.
Oh. Magic.
Great magic is in ZL Frog.
The ZL Frog, yeah.
We already have a magic, so...
Fabio resetting.
Maybe thinks it's faster to go...
Oh, Deku.
He's doing the Deku hints, okay.
Interesting.
I wonder
I
if
don't.
Fabio has forgotten about the cack skull.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Is turning around, maybe remembering that he has missed a check?
Welcome, Zelda speedruns and raiders. We have an Ocarina of Time Randomizer weekly race going on. It's basically the opposite of the main tournament settings right now. And yeah, happy 1 hour. We are just an item away from go mode.
Yeah,
Just
this
looking
is
for long shot.
looking like a short seed. We believe the only check that is currently available is a skull on the rooftops of Kakariko Village.
Yep. Which both runners we think are probably hiking to currently.
Yeah, Fabio is definitely en route to Kak.
Yep. Yeah, it was an adult start, which, because it's, beatable only, has the potential to be very fast. And we think we have stumbled upon one of them.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Fabio's just waiting for time of day. And Cola is... I wonder if Cola is going to go set it tonight and then head to Kak.
Maybe. Hey,
It might be...
Kasinja. GG's.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your MQ race, Sinja versus Slyrai, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fabio definitely getting to that skull first, whatever it is.
Yes.
Oh.
What is Cola doing?
Cola
Does Cola
isn't just
think he's
doing
in go
trials,
mode?
right?
Maybe he's trying to think about where...
Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst. Do what trials you can.
Oh, there's the long shot. That's go mode
Yep.
for Fabio. We
Alright.
kinda expected it, but...
Oh, interesting. So,
It's
setting
just-
Furor's Wind here, you don't have easy access to a dungeon, so Kolo must be thinking it's faster to just
walk into
go
DC.
up to DC. Which is kind of banking a lot on this actually being long shot. It is, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it's kind of fair to think, like, you've got one check in logic. It's probably the one item you
Yeah.
need to beat the seed, but...
Yeah, especially the way the rest of the items have been laid out. So we've got all of the trials to do. We've got the typical climb and door fight. We do have collapse on in these settings, so if you haven't watched a lot of those kind of less basic settings, you're in for a treat today.
Yeah, so now we've collected all the items, and now we have the execution part of the run, where we do 6 trials, climb Ganon's tower and beat Ganondorf. We'll see which side we go first. I'm a spirit first. Yeah, Fabio's a spirit first too.
I am 100% forest first, because if I'm gonna get frustrated by something, that's the faster way for it to happen, and I can just quit earlier.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% positive, but I think spirit first saves an equip.
That could be.
I know in vanilla you do forest first because you need to get the gold gauntlets from Shadow Trial, but you don't need to do that in these settings, so I think spirit first is faster, but if it's faster by 2 seconds, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. One of the things I do know is that if you have variable trials on, if water is on, you want to do that one last, because the equips are the same as your dwarf equips. It's the only thing I know.
Yeah, and this it's weird because Spirit and Forest are the two dungeons that require, or the two trials that require the most equips. So you kind of have to like do weird equips, and then at the end, whichever way you go.
So maybe the optimal one is start at Forest, then go over to Spirit, and just finish on Water. We've cracked it.
Maybe. Yeah,
making this look so easy.
Forest trial with fire arrows is not trivial. It is very easy to mess up.
Yep.
Oh, we gotta do no hovers, so we gotta do Forest trial without hovers.
Hovers in pretty much all of the trials are just kind of a nice buffer.
Yeah, so interesting. Hovers are never required for Saw Seeds. When you have all 6 trials on, they never come into play for like being required to beat a trial. Forest trial is in logic to beat because of the fans to beat it without hovers.
Yep. And fire trial, this middle part sinks. If you have hovers on, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's very nice having hovers. At least they both have a Goron tunic, so you don't have to worry about the timer.
Yep, you can take your time.
But yeah,
only worry about the sinking.
Hovers also speeds up fire trial by a significant amount. You can do a bunch of gainer strats, and you can go much faster across the platform with hovers on.
Yep.
Probably actually the trial you want hovers the most for in Saws. Maybe somewhat surprisingly.
Ooh. I thought that bubble was gonna ruin Fabio's day.
This slug can be a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yep. Kill this slug, and like you saw Cola do, kill that Beamos in Forest Trial.
Especially when you don't really need to kill it if you have hovers, the Beamos. But if you don't have hovers, you 100% want to kill that Beamos. It makes your life so much worse.
Yep.
Here in Water Trial for Cola, we're going to see a nice... well, first we're going to see like the second most laggy part of Saws. The first most laggy being the start of Collapse.
Oh, the start of
Collapse. That blue
is
fire
brutal.
ice block is so bad, and it's so laggy.
Yep.
But we're gonna see this one of the cooler tricks in Trials. You'll notice Cola does not have blue fire, and there's a red ice here, but we can just hammer through it.
Yep. Meanwhile, Fabio making good progress over halfway through. We do start with Lens in Saws. Fabio not equipping it.
Yeah, Fabio gonna go the slow way.
Yep.
I wonder if Fabio doesn't realize. Fabio is newer to these settings. Might not realize that we start with Lens.
Could be. Yep. Yeah. This is going to build the drama of who is going to finish first on Restream here if Cola does equip the Lens or happens to know, a faster...
Yeah, I know Cola... well, I think they're both have played a decent amount of RSL, so they're both, like, familiar with some... Probably a bit more familiar with some of these strats than maybe your average standard player would be.
Yep.
There we go.
And nice.
A little slow, but got there in the end. That's what's important.
Yep.
Okay, Cola is equipping the Lens.
Yep.
All right, so I think I'm trying. So Water Trial is very quick. Forest Trial is one of the longest ones. I'm trying to think. I think Fabio is still ahead at this point.
Yes, I would agree. Not by much.
Cola is very far behind. Yeah.
Yeah, because Cola still has to do fire, which can be done in under a minute. But also Spirit, which isn't
Yeah.
like super long. It's just annoying. You gotta collect the silver rupees. You gotta go through the door, hit the switch, set the
Yeah.
web on fire.
Oh, is Fabio is doing the puzzle. That's
Doing
interesting.
the proper puzzle.
I haven't seen this
Hey,
puzzle in a while, but
you know what? I'm here for block push.
it's really not that much slower. If you're not confident or don't know the jump exists, doing this puzzle doesn't take very long.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know the puzzle and you're not confident in that jump, no reason not to push.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's why we usually see people struggle in water trial, is they don't know how
They don't know how to do the puzzle.
do the puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be a bit scary. Probably the scariest without hover boots is that long shot at the end of your trial, and you're like, I gotta actually aim this long shot quick enough so I don't fall in the lava.
That's true. That jump could really suck on keyboard.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
I know.
C-upping generally sucks on keyboard from what I know.
And you don't 100% have to C up. I have seen people just kind of, free set up it. But it's definitely going to take more time to do that.
I kind of forgot about keyboard, to be honest.
Fabio,
yeah,
one
that
of
would
the
make
keyboard
sense.
Warriors.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense why it's probably easier just to push the block instead of trying to figure out a weird setup for that on keyboard. And Fabio opened the chest.
Let's go.
Yeah, as we said, Cola made this look pretty easy. This room can be pretty annoying. You're on a pretty tight timer with fire arrows.
Yeah.
Fabio going for the hardest torch first, the one up top. It's very easy to be slightly off and miss it.
Yep. So they're each going to be in their last trial. Could be pretty even depending on how, comfortable Fabio is doing this without hovers.
It looks like it's gonna be pretty even. The forest is longer than Spirit. Looks like Fabio is doing the strat I normally do for this trial, where you get the silver rupee that's over nothing last. Well, it's technically over a Song of Time block, but
yeah,
I've never seen anyone play Song of Time in this trial. Well, they also don't have it. And then voiding out and then going to the thing.
I do what we saw Cola do. I get that first and use the fan to push me over to that platform there.
Cola had a little trouble shooting that web, so we're going to be very even here.
Yeah. Both with a bit of an equip here.
So they're both going to do their trial equips, or for their Ganondorf equips here.
Yep.
Especially since they don't have a Big Goron sword. These are the items you need for the rest of the run, so it makes sense to equip them here.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like Cola is a couple seconds ahead right now of Fabio. Gained a little bit of time in those trials.
Yep. And both, kind of on this upper platform here, so not losing time on each other. So it's really just going to come down to that execution of how does your climb go? How does your dwarf go? How does your collapse go?
Yeah, I think the big things is going to be the knuckle fight. It can always be kind of scary. And then the Ganondorf, how many cycles in their Ganondorf fight? I know both runners are certainly capable of one cycling Ganondorf, but just because you're capable of doing it doesn't mean you're going to be able to pull it off every single time.
Right, exactly. The Dynalphos gave Fabio a little bit more trouble than they gave Cola.
Yeah, but it looks like both having good Stalfos fights. Very cooperative Stalfoses. And here's the knuckle fight. This can be rough. Cola notably dies to a single hit here.
Yep.
Fabio has a little bit more
A
leeway.
little bit of a buffer.
Oh no!
Oh no! Bear!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
All right.
Yeah. It looks like Fabio is having a clean knuckle fight too. Oh! I jinxed Fabio as well. But Fabio could survive the single hit. There we go.
Yep, had just
a little
enough health.
dangerous for both, but Fabio had the extra health that made the difference. All right, and with that, Fabio now in the lead, hoping for some hearts, didn't get it.
All right, Cola, you got this.
You got
Take
this.
them one at a time if you have to.
I honestly, with Master Sword, I find this easier to do both at the same time than doing one at... Oh, because now you're like off cycle on them. This is going to be awkward.
Yep. And that's the only reason why I prefer to take them one at a time myself, is getting that off cycle. It's the backswing.
All right, Koa got through it.
You're never expecting it.
All right, so now Fabio on the Ganondorf fight. Let's see. Like I said, definitely capable of a one cycle, but it's also very easy to mess up.
Yep. All right, getting the stun.
Nice.
Nice.
It was a little scary at the beginning because he was a little too far away, so had to reposition, but still managed to get it.
Yeah, there was one where I thought he might just miss that stun, but... Welcome, Jimbo. There is a weekly restream, but it's almost done.
It's almost over. And everyone's favorite part of OoT, collapse for Fabio.
Collapse!
As we see Kola go into Ganondorf.
Oh, there it is. Look at that lag.
Oh, the lag at the top collapse. It's so bad.
It's so brutal. Alright, Kola.
Oh, Kola just missing that. I think got 6 or 7 hits in there. So
I think I saw 7, but...
Only has a couple left. Should be easy to get the second cycle. The first 4 hits on Ganondorf are pretty free, and it's after that that the timing really comes into play.
Fabio making his way down the collapsing tower.
Yeah, collapse not super scary. There is a Stalfos fight in the next interior room.
Yep.
It used to be a lot scarier back when saws used to be minimal.
It's this jump, though.
Yeah.
Whee!
Thanks to Fennel adding a fix for the skull tokens, it is no longer minimal, which is probably the best thing that ever happened to saws, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of scary. One of the big issues with collapse being on is if you die at any point in the collapse segment or in the Ganon fight afterwards, you have to do all of collapse over again.
Without the refill.
Yeah, which is why minimal collapse and one-hit KO collapse are very stressful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say the most annoying part of collapse for me is if you do get hit by a boulder, Zelda like gasps and pauses, and you're like, "Move, lady."
She'll stop, and the issue is
she
sometimes
like covers her face.
If you get hit, there it is. You just saw it above your screen. If you're too far away from her, she will not move forward. So if you like get hit and you're like, especially this tower is like this stairwell that Fabio's in. Like if you get hit at the bottom and she's at the top, she will stop and she will not keep coming towards you.
Yeah, it's like a true escort thing. Like, no, I'm fine. Just keep going. Alright. Meanwhile, Cola also getting Zelda trapped in a ring of fire, SMH.
Alright, we gotta see if Fabio gets the kiss. So if you get perfectly on the center of this grate here at the end, you save. Nope.
Nope.
Basically, Zelda will overlap with Link's hitbox, and you save about a frame because you don't have to move into the loading zone. You're already in it.
Yep. And Mihalo?
Nice, finishing in first place. I
GG's.
forgot there were other people in this race, to be honest. GG's.
I think there were 4. Maybe we had a 5th joiner, but I think it was 4.
There are 5. I
5.
have the race room open. I just completely forgot that this wasn't like a 1v1. It was a weekly race. And Fabio and Cola are not going to be far behind. Fabio's about 2 minutes away. Cola closer to 3.
And the time difference between them, I'm going to guess, is almost entirely gonna
My
be
guess is
when
Mihalo did not last location a long shot like Fabio and Cola.
Yep. Just had the right time of day or waited, prioritized that. Which is truly a, to each their own call.
Alright, Cola. Ooh, Cola gets the kiss. There you go. And then, boom, you're already in the loading zone. You don't even have to move.
And Ganon is down.
Fabio about to finish up as Cola about to start. So still a very close race. And GG's to Fabio. Second place. Nice job.
Fabio is going to join us for an interview, it looks like.
Cola not far behind. We're setting up for phase 2 of Ganon here.
Yeah, probably a little more than a minute difference, but
yeah,
nice and
it was
close.
That one Iron Knuckle fight, unfortunate death that Cola took that decided the end of this race. Alright, and that's phase 2. One more slash, and that's it for Cola as well.
Look how few items you can actually finish this in. It feels like you need so many items. But look at all the things you don't need to find.
Yeah. And GG's to Cola.
GG's, Cola.
Yeah, I know.
Cola also going to be joining us for an interview. So hang tight if you want to hear from the runners themselves.
Yeah, they will be in a few moments. But yeah, that was a very quick seed.
Yeah, beforehand we were talking, is there a lot of variance in, the length of time? And it's kind of. It just entirely depends. And that's exactly what you see here, is that kind of, not worst case scenario, but that jet scenario of that adult-only start.
This is about as fast as you could possibly get for a Saw Seed.
Mm-hmm.
There was basically nothing extra required. It was just the only things that locked checks were the items you needed to beat Ganondorf.
Cola.
GG's.
GG's. What do you think of the seed?
Oh, I don't know. There was not much to do. I don't think I had a single check left. Right?
No, we don't believe you did.
Yeah.
Both you
Yeah.
and Fabio last location the long shot, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I could have done the skull in Lake Hylia with the long shot, but other than that, I did literally everything, including everything out of logic.
Yeah.
GG's,
Fabio, GG's.
Hey, GG.
We're just getting kind of first impressions on the seed from Cola here, so if you have anything.
I think I did everything.
Yes.
Logic.
Yeah.
It's exactly
you-
what Cole was saying.
Did you go to forest or did you skip that?
No.
Because I did all of that area as well, and there was nothing there.
Yeah, I would say that's probably one of the biggest questions I have for you, Cola, is how do you prioritize staying in logic in something that you know is like required only settings? It makes so much sense to go into forest when you're there because of the number of checks and how quick they are. But I just wanted to hear kind of that thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I had Saria song and then Ocarina already, and one of the C buttons to go in there, so I don't know, I felt like it's probably gonna be in logic at some point, so I went there. But that was obviously a mistake in hindsight, but...
Yeah,
Oh.
no, I think that logic makes sense from my point of view, so.
I would agree. Fabio, you ended up picking up that hammer before you went into kind of the crater and fire area, which was another like really nice routing, time save, flowed a little nicer. What was your thought after doing those crater skulls? Did you realize that you were only one item from go?
Yeah, I did realize there was only long shot. It's kind of a little unfortunate because there were 2 times where I missed the cactus skull.
Dude, same.
Yeah,
I went to
same.
Keck twice
I-
at daytime.
We definitely
Oh.
noticed one coming out of DC for Cola where, like, I think you, like, messed up killing the skull in DMT and that wasted the time of day to get into CAC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it
chew
was-
just like didn't explode the wall.
Yeah, it was weird because I was probably standing like some centimeters away or I don't know. But anyways. I was actually about to just take the save scum there and go back where I saved in DC for the time of day, but decided against it then.
Yeah, as soon as, you walked into CAC and we're like, oh, that's definitely daytime, we know how difficult it is to make it back to that skull in particular, because it's the only thing really there until you have cows to do or something else to do. So it makes sense that it gets kind of pushed to the background. So you both, ended up doing valley and lake checks. More to do there.
Yeah, and that skull in the fortress, right? Because that's actually Sphere Zero in these settings.
Yeah, there was actually a hint. I think you missed it, but Fabio had it, that Fortress was
no.
foolish.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't have that. I had Ice Cavern is foolish, which obviously
Yes.
doesn't help you.
I have Wasteland also, but doesn't really matter.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of those, like, Gerudo card is probably on one of those checks even. Just locking the area up.
Well, it could also be just...
In Child.
In
Somewhere.
Child.
The vast number of checks we don't have access to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get Requiem, you just can't get there. Requiem is in Spirit, for example.
So in general, how have you been enjoying Saw's Seeds as weeklies?
I like it. Always up for weird settings like
Fabio,
Well-
have you been enjoying them?
Yeah, it's way different than we normally play,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of interesting. I still have to get used to the wording of the hints that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
I have my, like, the documents for all.
Yeah, I think
From
we
all
all
the
have it
words.
open
Yeah,
since I see multiple people on that sheet.
Yeah, thanks to Fennel for making that cryptic hint sheet. The one we had before didn't have some of the like ocarina buttons or the medallions and stuff like that on it. So Fennel has actually done quite a bit for Saws to help make it a little bit more accessible. So shout outs to you, Fennel. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. What would you like to see in like future weekly settings? I think it's been a month now, 6 weeks. On Saws. Anything you'd like to see upcoming?
Oh, I don't.
You'll just play.
Yeah.
well, nowadays it's kind of hard for me to join weekly, so I'm gonna try to join as much as I can, but like between work and such,
Mm-hmm.
now it's getting really hard to even play. So
Well, I
No, I'm
hope
not
it was
sure what
worth
to say.
joining today.
yeah, I have space.
Nice
Today, at
and
least.
quick today.
Yeah.
All right. I think that was all of my questions. Bear, did you have anything or any other comments from Cola or Fabio?
No, I
Just-
don't have anything. Just thanks for playing. Thanks to the organizers. I know I'm a huge fan of Saw's settings. I know they're not like super popular or well known in the community, and I'm glad we got to do these this month of showcases for them. So thank you to everyone involved in coordinating these weeklies.
One thing I'd like to say is that I want a child start at one of these points, dude. Like almost all of them have been adult starts. It's great.
Yeah, of the ones I've played in, I think I played in 3 of them and 1 child start and 2 adult starts. I know the first 4 were all adult starts.
Yeah, I think there was just one child start in all of them.
Yeah. I have
Interesting.
a quick question.
Yeah.
Is lens required or no for the battle trial path?
I don't think it's required, but you do start with lens. I'm not.
Yeah.
You weren't
Oh, right.
aware of
Oops.
that.
I forgot!
Yeah, it's
Oh my
okay.
god.
We
What do I
weren't
do?
sure if you knew or just didn't want to like equip over your
Oops.
required items.
I actually pulled it out.
Okay.
without the hover boots or anything, it's actually painful to go. that
Yeah.
path.
Never
All
mind.
right. Well, thank you both so much for playing and for letting us restream you today. I was really glad we got a Saws restream going. So thank you both so much. I hope you had fun and enjoy having an extra kind of hour and a half to do stuff today since it was so quick. I believe our runners' links are in chat, so please give them a follow. Our trackers today, Aliotes and Golden Devil, thank you both so much for pushing the buttons. Golden Devil, also our restreamer today. And of course, Bear, thank you for being on comms with me today. I'm glad we were able to make this work.
Yeah, thanks again to everyone involved, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to commentate. So thank you.
And I think with that, we are gonna head out. We have 2 tournament races tomorrow, one 12MQ race and one Season 8 Losers Bracket Round 5, as well as Grand Finals Game 3 of the Zelda 2 Rando Tournament tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. With that, we're going to go raid Eric DeCleric, who is doing some OOT 100% speedruns. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good rest of your weekend.